There's a bunch of different color shifts, but this is one of my favorites. I don't want to peel it off, but because the customer wants to, I guess we're gonna go ahead. Plus, we have something crazy coming. Can't wait to show you guys. I'm also gonna tell you guys how to take care of your wrap so it could actually last as long as this one did, or even longer. Jay the Wrap Specialist back at the shop, making it happen. We got a car that I wrapped maybe 3 or 4 years ago. If you go way back to my YouTube channel, you could probably see when I wrapped this one, back when I was working in my garage. And I wanna show you guys what a wrap is supposed to peel like after 4 years. I wanna show you what the good things are and the bad things after a wrap sits on a vehicle for so long. First things first, let's take a look at how it looks right now. I haven't really seen this car since I did it, and that was a while back. One of the first things I noticed is that all the edges are doing great. None of the edges are lifting, so I don't see any faders like that. The only thing I do kind of notice is a little bit of fading on the top side of the car. So a lot of times that's gonna be the first thing that happens. You're gonna see your hood start to fade a little bit, the roof and the trunk, but it's very light, so you can't really notice it. I can notice it because I work on this all the time. So that's probably the only thing I do kind of see on there, but overall this thing looks great, almost in perfect condition, which is crazy after so long. They say that they don't last. If you see this, it actually does last a very long time. Super clean on the edges, top and bottom. I opened the doors, all the edges on the inside are nice, perfect as they were when I did them. Edges on the door are also holding up really nice. So I don't see any lift on here, super clean. This is after 4 years. Door handle cup, perfect condition. I don't see any bubbling or anything like that on there. Even the edges on the sides of the doors. Everything on here is doing great. I'm really happy to see that, and always using some of the best materials out there. A lot of times when people wrap Chargers, they always have issues on this inner side, and I see on here that it is perfectly fine. All the edges on the entire quarter panel are perfect. The only reason we have this going on here is because this vehicle is getting a wide body kit installed. We have to take some of this off so that they can take care of that there and line it up. This is gonna look crazy once we're done with it. Before we peel off the wrap, I want you guys to see what a 4-year-old wrap looks like. We took a look at the film and the way it looks after so long. I want to show you guys how it comes off, because that's very important. It's always easy and fun and games to put it on and say that it lasts long, but what happens when you take it off? You don't want to damage your paint. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when you take off 4-year-old wrap. Get it nice and warm before I start peeling, and the reason you don't want to peel when it's cold is because you can peel off paint regardless of how good the film is. If you peel it without heating it, there's a good chance you're gonna damage the paint. So we're gonna go ahead and warm it up a little bit. And it doesn't require a lot of heat. I kind of just warm up a certain section and then I move and work my way down. So I don't want to heat the entire panel. I just start working on sections. You see, heat makes it way easier. So without heat, you would not be able to do this. So it comes off pretty smooth. Once you get to a section where it starts to get cooler, it starts to get a little bit more difficult to be able to pull the film off. So that's when I know that I gotta heat again. And remember, this is a 4-year-old wrap, so it's coming off super smooth and really nice. So I heat a little area and I continue down. Once I kind of feel that it starts to really stick, I can tell that it's cool, so I need to heat it again. If you work with films that are not good quality, they are definitely not gonna come off this easy. A lot of times what I end up doing, especially during the summer, you just park the car outside, let it get some sun, and you start peeling. Took care of a good section there. One thing you could do if you have a friend, they could heat as you go and you start pulling. As you can tell, I haven't even cleaned it yet, and it already looks super clean. It's not leaving a lot of adhesive residue on there. You don't want to remove a wrap and have so much glue left behind. So while we're working, one of the biggest questions I always get is, how long can you keep a wrap on for? Most of the time I say keep it 4 to 5 years, not too long after that. Even though it still looks fine, I feel like after that you should go ahead and switch it out. These films are actually made to last around 7 years, but I normally say 3 to 5 is cool. Now that we peeled the film, you can see how the paint is pretty much back to how it was before. No damage to it. The only thing you may notice is that in certain areas, you may get a little bit of glue residue. Not a crazy amount, but just a little bit on there. So the best thing to do is to just clay bar it, clean it down, and you'll be good to go. Clay bar, what it's gonna do is help remove whatever little glue residue is left on there. And it's gonna make it super smooth. And as you notice that the wrap has not damaged the paint. Everybody always says, especially those people that don't like wraps, it doesn't damage your paint. 4 years. The only reason we're taking it off is because it's getting a new look, not because the wrap is fading or doing anything crazy. It's probably one of the most difficult sections to wrap. So it kind of sucks to peel it off. At least it comes off smoothly. Those wrap vehicles, I know you came across some vehicles or some wraps that you try to take off and they just don't want to work with you. They come off really, really bad. When you're watching this, see how smooth this is. This is one of the reasons why I like to use this film. No struggle taking it off, especially if you have an extra set of hands. I could definitely take care of this in 1 hour, 2 hours. We're gonna go ahead and continue heating. So you wanna make sure that you heat it, but not too much, because if you heat it too much, and it will start to leave some residue on there. So the goal is to leave the least amount of residue, if any, on there, to make your life a lot easier. So I'm only doing small sections as I go. I've seen some people that will literally take this and start peeling it back that way without using any heat, just because it's a little bit warm in there. But the problem with that is that it's gonna leave a bunch of residue. Then you're gonna have to come back. You may finish peeling it quicker, but you're gonna have to come back and clean forever. I'd rather take my time with it. Just today, I was going through my comments on, I think, Facebook or something, and I saw that somebody said, it won't last a year. This is 4 years. It's only coming off because it's getting a new look. You could definitely trust the films as long as you go with the good ones. You don't want to buy those super cheap ones. I had a customer one time that bought like a $50 chrome roll. Man, that was horrible. Never cheap out on films. Always make sure you get some good quality stuff. Check with your wrapper, whoever wraps it for you. Make sure they know what they're doing. Don't put whatever random stuff you find on the internet for cheap, because it can damage your paint. It won't come out this smooth or this easily. This right here is quality. On there, nice and warm. There we go. When it comes to wrapping a vehicle, if you want it to remove as smooth as this is, the paint on the vehicle matters a lot. So the paint on the vehicle has to be in great condition. You don't want to wrap a vehicle that has a bad paint job, because no matter how good the wrap you put on there is, it's still gonna damage the paint, or it still has a good chance of damaging it. Just because you use good film does not mean that it won't damage every single paint job. You always want to make sure it goes on a good paint job, original factory paint. Always want to make sure that it is installed correctly. So if you don't install it correctly, you could still damage the paint, even if it's a good film. So that's one of the things I did want to mention before you go out there and work on your vehicles. This is exactly how it's supposed to look after 4 years. Super clean removal. It really sucks that we gotta get rid of this super nice wrap, but the cool thing about it is that the one that's coming is even better. We're gonna be one of the very first people to install this type of color. So, man, let me go ahead and show you guys real quick. Let's just skip right to it. I got this color right here. It is one of the only cars that is gonna have this. We went out to SEMA maybe about a month ago, and I was able to secure this roll specifically for this car. So I want to show you guys how it looks. This color is similar, but on a whole another level. Look how crazy this looks. And what's even crazier is that this still has a clear cap sheet over it, so it shines even more than that. I can't wait to see this on the car. So if you're wondering, how do you take care of a wrap and make it last this long? Most people are skipping a vital step. The best way to take care of it is to wash your car. Yes, super simple, but most people skip it. You gotta wash your car at least twice a month. Twice a month is perfect, but if you could do it even more, even better. Another thing that we do to make things look this nice is to ceramic coat a wrap. 9 out of 10 wraps that we do here are always ceramic coated. That helps your wrap a lot. Don't sleep on that. Make sure you get it. This wrap right here was ceramic coated, and that's why it looks that good. He washed it, ceramic coated it, perfect combination. Gotta do that. By the way, before I finish up, if you're looking to learn how to wrap vehicles, make sure to check out my website, jaythewrapspecialist.com. If you can't make it to in-person classes, I also have have online instructional videos, over 60 of them, and we're always adding more. So make sure you check that out.